Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is February 17th, 2016, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the economic calendar today, we are in the middle of the week, and that's usually the highlight of the week. So we have a bunch of numbers coming out. First, at 11:30 a.m. South African time, GBP numbers coming out. It's average earnings index and claimant count change, both related inflationary-like. So that should be kind of interesting if that impacts highly on the market. And then at 3:30 South African time, that's 3:30 p.m. South African time, we have a USD numbers, building permits, and PPI numbers. That's a monthly number. Building permits more related to real estate. It is a very big faction of the Dow Jones, so that should be kind of interesting how that translate into the market. And then later this evening, we have a FOMC meeting minutes as to the rate change last week, and that's going to be at 9 p.m. South African time. So looking at the markets, I guess the biggest move yesterday was the gold retracing back to 1207. As you can see here, let's look at a 4-hour chart. We hit this high of 1246, 1250, 1260 even, and then we're retracing. So this was a colossal move for gold, rallying from 1050 over in December time until now in mid-February to 1260. I mean, it was anticipated. The markets, the Dow Jones, the DAX, they're all selling off. So this is going to go higher. It's a risk-averse investment usually for people who are taking their money out of equities and putting it into something a little bit more of a safe haven. So this was anticipated to a certain degree. Once we broke this 1178, we just took it off. It was hard to say how far we could have gone. On hindsight, it's easy to say, oh look, we went to this level right here, but I would have expected it to go a little bit lower of 1220, 1230-ish level, and then to take it back. But as you can see, there were a lot of shorts, and there was a big short squeeze here going to up to 1260. So question is, where we're going to go from here. So looking at the daily chart, we have a couple of support levels starting at 1178 here, 1154, and then 1111. I'm not sure that it'll hit. My guess it'll hit between 1178 and 1154-ish level as we head into the March, the first quarter, which is the March, and most of the U.S. economy companies will be reporting in March. So that's going to affect the markets, obviously, as we enter the first quarter of the year. So looking at gold, that's definitely an option to see how much further it's going to go down. It may just trickle here for a little bit until it does go further down. Looking at the Dow Jones yesterday, big day on the Dow Jones, 222 points on the upside. So we're trading at 16,000. We're selling off here at after hours 16,089. We had a high of 16,090 yesterday. So above 16,000 is a major threshold for the Dow Jones. I still think we can fill this gap to 17,000. I think that they want to. Nothing just ever goes down for nothing. What was beautiful about this chart is that we had this double bottom. Okay, we had this bottom in 2013, all the way back then. Exactly. So we're retracing, almost 2 years ago. So what I do want to say is that we hit this threshold of 15,500 when we bounced off of it. I mean, it really didn't like to be there, and you see that from the big wick that is coming up here. Now the question is the U.S. economy, is this the end of the bear cycle? That has yet to be proven. Okay, there's no question that we hit a bear cycle once we've sold off in August, rallied back in November, December time, and then we sold off into the January market. So the question is how far we're going to go up above this. Can we see 16,597? I think we're going to be trading in this range between 16,600 and 16,000 until we prove otherwise and we break either higher or lower. So these are my two thresholds that I'm really looking at to see which direction we're going to go moving forward into the year. And then that's obviously April, May, June. So I'd like to see what happens and what unfolds there. Looking at oil here, oil dipping again below $30 a barrel. We bounced a little bit yesterday. We bounced after Monday's holiday season. We bounced yesterday above $31, and now we're selling off. So you know, above 30, below $30 is a major threshold for oil. We could definitely see it challenging its low again, as long as it continues this sell-off. And so, you know, it's a little bit of a choppy trading here. There's not much of a style. It's not really trending in a range yet. We don't have many ranges for it to trade in, and we don't see that there's a trend that's really forming. I mean, you know, that's going to be something that you're going to have to see nearer to the threshold. So, you know, if you want to, you know, play it a little bit short and, you know, just play the, you know, small plays in oil, just realize, you know, there's not much character, there's not much volume right now. As we head in tomorrow, we'll have inventory numbers, so that should be kind of interesting to see week to week. But that's, you know, it's a little bit harder trading that way because you're really trading on momentum, and as long as there's momentum, as long as there's volume, there's some sort of character. But I see it more as choppy trading here. This $31, you know, it was not such a layup to. It was in a high probability trade to start laying it off and selling short up here. I would have liked to have seen it go up to 32. I would have felt a little bit more comfortable to short it up here than at 31, 31 and a half. So, you know, as long as it's respecting its ranges, okay, as long as it's getting closer to its ranges, I'd rather trade that. Looking at the Forex markets yesterday, kind of a quiet day yesterday, okay? We sold off here in the Euro USD from 113 to 111-ish level, even to 110, almost 110. Now, we're trading at 111, okay? So we're really at almost the bottom of the range here after this colossal breakout last week. So, you know, where do we take it from here? So looking at a 4-hour chart, you know, we're really just trading between these two levels of 114 and 111. The question is, you know, where do you pick it up? Well, once it gets closer to 111, I'd be much more comfortable picking it up, you know, just putting a little bit of buy orders, you know, before it takes off. And then once I see that it's working my way, I'd build the position that way. So that's my option here in the Euro USD. Looking at the GBP USD, sold off a little bit, and now we're just a little bit more sell-off here, and we're still in the bottom of this range around here. Again, you know, where is it going to go from here? It's a good question. You know, it's not a high probability trade to go into either one of these. If you're long this, you know, you're not getting hurt too badly. If you short this, then, you know, you may want to, you know, look to have a tighter stop on it just because it looks like it's slowing its momentum down on the downside. So looking at the GBP, which is having its news come out today, it'd be kind of interesting what happens here. This is kind of interesting. The GBP Japanese yen has been trading in tandem with the Dow Jones. Right here, it's actually didn't take off like the Dow Jones did yesterday. So that's kind of interesting that it's breaking its formation with the Dow Jones. So we are here below this 163 level. So I'm inclined to think that it is a lagger here and may even go further down. Okay, it's not really breaching it, you know, enough to have, you know, some sort of conviction in it, but still it is breaching it. So I'd keep an eye on this, especially with the GBP numbers coming out this morning. That's my wrap up for today. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.